Come and take a ride with me. Welcome to my paradise. Call wrestling pedigree. It's the Rotz Report. Wrestling pedigree.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new year and a brand new episode of the Rotz Report. I'm your co-host, Matty, and along with me, as usual, I have the pride of Ohio, Christopher Ross. How are you, sir?
I am doing good, Maddie, and here on the Wrestling Pedigree, I want to wish everybody a happy new year. I hope you guys all enjoy 2026 with your family, your friends, and hopefully you guys have a safe and blessed and healthy 2026 year. And I'm ready to talk to you guys all about wrestling and just to kickstart 2026 with a bang.
Absolutely. And it's just us two tonight. Unfortunately, Lewis Joshua couldn't be with us. And it's going to be a very interesting show because of what happened this past weekend and the stuff that we're looking forward to and in the week coming. So let's get into what happened this past weekend with AEW World's End, a phenomenal pay-per-view. I really enjoyed it. Each match was a banger. What was your take on it, Ross?
My take on World's End, it was a great show from top to bottom. And I feel with AEW pay-per-views and with Tony Khan, they always deliver great shows. And it was a good show. The Continental Classic final matches, I predicted it was going to be Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. I did not expect it was going to be Okada and Moxley going to the finals, but out of those two matches, Konosuke Takeshita and Okada, that was match of the night, in my opinion. Mercedes Moné and Athena losing the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Mercedes Moné is going to have to continue on this downhill spiral, and she's going to keep on dropping all of her championships belts. That's where I see the storyline going at with Mercedes. I'm happy Chris Statlander retained the AEW Women's World Championship. She needs to keep that championship a little bit longer. Then Jon Moxley became the Continental Championship. I did not expect it that it was going to be Jon Moxley. I hope they could have just kept the title on Okada and then maybe Claudio Castagnoli and the rest of the Death Riders to kick Jon Moxley out. I do expect Jon Moxley to go on a babyface run in 2026, and with him going on a babyface run, they need to kick him out of the Death Riders in order for him to go and be a babyface. And then Claudio, he could be the new leader of the Death Riders. So we just have to find out and see how everything is getting played out in 2026, but I do expect Jon Moxley to get kicked out of the Death Riders this year. And then the main event, MJF becoming the new AEW World Champion by pinning Samoa Joe. It was long-term storytelling right there. Samoa Joe dethroned MJF in 2023, and then 2023 went into 2024. We had the bidding war of 2024 with WWE and AEW. Where would MJF go? And ultimately, he wants to stay in AEW, so I don't blame the guy. I'm happy MJF retained, and I am going to say this. I feel he's going to keep this championship on lockdown up until All in London in 2026, and you got that smile on your face, and you know where I'm taking this at. I got a gut feeling MJF is going to drop the AEW World Championship to Will Ospreay. Hopefully Will Ospreay can get back to AEW soon, and once he does, what I said to you guys last year and what I'm going to say to you this year, Will Ospreay is going to win the Owen Hart Cup, and then he's going to punch his ticket to the main event of AEW All in London against MJF. He's going to become the world championship, and Will Ospreay can become the face of AEW once and for all. So those are really my take on AEW War's End, and also FTR retained the tag team championships. That was giving, and I do expect FTR to maybe go and challenge, I don't know, maybe a returning Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. I do see Adam Copeland and Christian Cage returning back to AEW, and I see that match maybe taking place at AEW Revolution in March 15th. So hopefully we can get FTR versus Adam Copeland and Christian Cage for the tag team champions. And I see maybe Adam Copeland and Christian Cage gain the tag team champions before hanging it up.
Well, that's a major prediction there. And I'm the same with you. I thought it would be Carl Fletcher and Chickasha, but I'm surprised for Moxley. Especially with the promo he did after, which was pure baby face. I was very surprised. However, it's understandable now why they did that, because MJF winning the world title. MJF will be the biggest heel in AEW, so they need someone, and John's very good at being a babyface. Are you surprised? Are you surprised how well this past year? Because I've criticized this very much so, but with Mercedes Moné and the belt collecting and stuff like that, and the way and the route they're going through now, do you think it's all paid off now with all the titles she had and her losing it through all the storylines she has?
I think it's going to pay off. I feel, when she was winning championship after champion after championship, I was getting to the point that she is just ruining women's wrestling altogether. And it was getting to a point that says, my God, why is Tony Khan heavily pushing Mercedes Moné to win all of these championships? And I just feel like down the road, I'm going to say it, she's going to lose all of her championships. And that one championship she wants the most is the AEW Women's War Championship. And I am going to predict this: once Mercedes Moné loses all of her championships, she is going to capture the AEW Women's War Championship in 2026. I don't know what pay-per-view. I don't know if it's going to be on a random AEW episode, but I do see in 2026 Mercedes Moné losing all of her championships, and then she goes after to capture the AEW Women's War Championship.
I agree with that. I don't know when either. In my head, I'm kind of thinking Owen, but speaking of Owen, I totally agree with you. It probably will be Ospreay versus MJF. I did smile because I knew where that was going, and plus I am going to that pay-per-view, so I really hope I see Ospreay win the world title live at Wembley Stadium. After that crazy pay-per-view, we have Monday Night Raw, and from Orlando, Florida. What was your take on Monday Night Raw?
My take on Monday Night Raw, it was the last show of 2025. I felt Raw was good. We got that CM Punk Braun Breaker promo. That got me intrigued on what we're going to see this Monday on Raw. I don't want to spoil any of my predictions until like later on in our broadcast, but I am going to say this CM Punk and Braun Breaker, that's going to be a banger of a match. It's going to be a really solid match. Is it time for WWE to put the rocket on Braun Breaker, or are they going to continue CM Punk's title reign? We got to find out and see. Other things that got out of Raw was definitely Zero Mieiro is back. Penta returned from that shoulder injury that happened to him in the last time is now tournament. He unfortunately took on Solo Sakura, but that match did not happen at all. And I'm glad Penta is back. Where do I see them doing with Penta in 2026? I feel they might have him team with Rey Mysterio for a bit, but I feel the ultimate goal is to get Penta and Ray Phoenix of the Lucha Bros back together. And I am going to make a prediction here. I see the Lucha Bros becoming a tag team in 2026 and maybe going after the tag team championships. So I see Lucha Bros in 2026 being tag team champions down the road. And meaning about tag team champions, we had a great tag team title match with Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and the Usos. I did pick Rey Mysterio, not Rey Mysterio. I did pick AJ Styles and Dragon Lee to retain. I thought their title reign could have went on a little bit longer, but I started to realize 2026 is going to be the last year for AJ Styles. He possibly wants to go on his own to be a singles competitor. So we're just going to have to see what they do with AJ Styles in 2026. With the Usos winning the tag team champions, I'm happy that they put the titles on them. Where do I see them? Where do I see the Usos title reign being? I feel it's going to be a solid run. And I was talking to a couple of my buddies in group chats, and I did make a prediction. What if WrestleMania they could do a dream match? What we haven't seen in a long time is you have the Usos put the tag team championships on the line against the Hardy Boys. I would love for them to have the Usos and Hardys face each other for the tag team titles. Maybe they could do it at WrestleMania. I don't know what the Hardy Boys schedule is going to look like. If they're going to have at least another run in WWE on the main roster, we just got to find out and see. And then also Gunther defeated R-Truth. And that's just my take on Monday Night Raw.
I thought Monday Night Raw was a good show. Stay with you. I thought the segment with Punk and the Vision was really good. Good build up for next week. The women's triple threat match was all right. I'm gonna be honest. I would have preferred it if it was Falcor versus Rodriguez, but it was a good match. What they made, some good spots. I was surprised. I'm the same as you. I was surprised with the tag team title match. I had AJ Lee. I had AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. But then obviously thinking of like it's just the start of AJ Styles' retirement tour. So it'd be interesting when they go. They're also setting up with Gunther and AJ. The only thing I feel sorry for when I watched that Monday Night Raw was the Judgment Day, because they got Dominic, who is injured. JD's out for a few months, injured after surgery. And that storyline of their disbandment is slowly, once again going on the back burner. So, and now it looks like they're bringing out Finn Balor's Prince babyface. So it'd be interesting where they go there. But yeah, really good Raw, really good build up for next week. It was a go home show until Netflix next week. But yeah, there's some spots there. Yeah.
I got a couple of questions. You're talking about the Judgment Day. Do you see the Judgment Day breaking up in 2026?
Absolutely. And there'll be one person that is involved in all that, and that is Liv Morgan.
And my other question is, you brought about AJ Styles. If you have to pick maybe 2 matches you would like to see AJ Styles take on in 2026, who would it be?
If we're involving every relationship WWE has, I will put AJ Styles versus Frankie Kazarian, and I will put AJ Styles versus Leon Slater. So those two, kind of TNA, because AJ's been around the block where he's faced a lot of people in WWE, but yeah, Leon Slater and Frankie Kazarian. I think mostly Frankie Kazarian match because the history of these two have, and it'll be I think WWE will learn from their history of what they did with Cena last year and try to do it way better. So I think we will see that match. We'll just have to wait until what happens.
Since you did your 2 picks, I'm going to go with my 2 picks. I would love for them to do AJ Styles versus Javon Evans. I would love to see those two take on each other. And we saw a sneak peek of it at Saturday night's main event last year for John Cena's last final match. And I'm going to say I would love to see AJ Styles versus CM Punk.
Ooh. What's that, for a title or just a normal?
Just a normal match.
Man, that's not a bad shout. That is not a bad shout for the CM Punk match. Try to think now, they faced each other before. They must have in Indies.
Maybe like Ring of Honor, maybe?
No, I'm thinking early TNA in 2002, 2003, where Punk was there as part of a faction, and AJ was just baby face, like craziness. Like, he was the face of the company back then. So I probably faced each other then, so that'll be a great match. Great pick. Absolutely great pick. Let's go into NXT. What was your takeaway from NXT? It was a good go home show, I thought.
It was a good show all around. Ethan Page retained the NXT North American Championship. That was predictable. All around. I would have been shocked if they would gave it to Moose, but ultimately they want to continue Ethan Page on this great run he's had with the North American Championship. But I do feel that in 2026, Ethan Page's North American Championship reign is going to come to an end. I could see it coming to an end at Stand and Deliver.
Ooh.
So I don't know who Ethan Page would take on at that moment, but Stand and Deliver, that's where I see him dropping the NXT North American Championship. We had the year-end awards being presented. Javon Evans, Male Superstar of the Year. Sol Ruca and Zarya Tag Team of the Year. Match of the year was the Stand and Deliver main event with Trick Williams, Oba Femi, Javon Evans. When I was watching that match, I said that was NXT's match of the night because I enjoyed that match from top to bottom at Stand and Deliver. And then Sol Ruca becoming Women's of the NXT Women of the Year. That, to me, tells me that WWE sees a lot in Sol Ruca, and I just can't wait for her to go straight to the mountaintop in WWE. What I do see Sol Ruca in 2026, I feel Sol Ruca is ready to carry an NXT brand on her back, and I see Sol Ruca winning the NXT Women's Championship in 2026 before jumping to the main roster. So that's where I see Sol Ruca going in 2026, winning the NXT Women's Championship. JC Jane defeated Ren Sinclair. And then I enjoyed the Joe Hendry concert this past Tuesday. It was great. And also Ricky Saints defeated Javon Evans. I do feel Ricky Saints possibly might get another NXT championship title, maybe title win or maybe a match for the NXT championship, but we're just going to wait and see what all happens with Ricky Saints in 2026.
I agree with you on that. I think Ricky Saints will probably get that in February at St. Valentine's Massacre. I think they'll get out of vengeance, whatever it is in February. I feel they'll definitely get out there. It was a very good go home show. I really, I'm all invested in this Tatum, Patsy, and Izzy Dane rivalry. I love it. The storyline, the psychology. I'm loving it, and it's making both women strong. I really look forward to what they bring at New Year's Evil. What else was there? There was something else. It was Javon Evans. For me, as we did our end of year awards show for Wrestling Pedigree this past Saturday, he was a breakout superstar of ours that we voted for him for. Do you feel what show? Because obviously they're stating him as a free agent. They're stating Trick Williams as a free agent. They're stating on my family on promos on both Raw and SmackDown. Out of those three, which show should each of them go on?
Well, for Trick Williams, is going to be SmackDown because of his fiance Lash Legend. So, because WWE wants to keep their couples together and just travel together at once. So that's a rule right there.
Yeah.
Oba Femi, I see him going to Friday Night SmackDown. Javon Evans, I gotta say that SmackDown needs maybe those three superstars because of SmackDown going to 3 hours tomorrow. And I think Javon Evans would do great on Friday Night SmackDown. But if he goes to Monday Night Raw, I don't know if he's going to be lost in the shuffle. That is kind of I'm just going to say all three superstars go to SmackDown. But with Javon Evans, I would not fast track him to the main roster just yet. I would love for Javon Evans to win the NXT championship and have him carry the NXT brand on his back before going to the main roster. So that's where I'm seeing Javon Evans go in 2026.
That's a very good show. Very good show. I totally agree with you on that. Um, let's get into something which really, really made me so happy, and out of AEW Dynamite. And we're gonna quickly go through this one because there's so much to talk about, to look forward to. But for me, the main event, Willow Nightingale winning the TBS Women's title against Mercedes Moné. What a moment! What a moment after the match. Did you see that match? And what was your take on that?
I did not see any of AEW last night. So if Joshua was here, I'm possibly the next Joshua. I did not see AEW.
It was a really, really good match, epic match, great finish. Right after the match, Chris Statlander came out. Willow and Chris buried the hatchet and they hugged out. So it was a great ending to 2025. It's been a really good year for AEW along with WWE. So hopefully AEW will carry this on and be a massive heavy hitter in 2026 because they need something good for them in 2026. So let's look into the previews and let's look forward to, like you said, tomorrow where SmackDown goes back to 3 hours, where a lot of people online have said yes to that. So let's go into it. SmackDown. But before we do, what's your take on SmackDown going to 3 hours again?
I just feel with SmackDown going to 3 hours, they need to have better creative decisions and make SmackDown be enjoyable to watch every single week. And I just feel they need to have more superstars to come over to SmackDown and just help boost the SmackDown roster a little bit. And mean about SmackDown going to 3 hours, I could officially say this, that on Friday, March 27th, I will be going to Friday Night SmackDown in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I am so ready to go to Pittsburgh, and I could see for the second time the WrestleMania sign. I can't wait to point to the WrestleMania sign on March 27th. The first time I saw the WrestleMania sign was WrestleMania 39 in 2023. And now, 3 years later, I'll be pointing to the WrestleMania Vegas sign.
That is so awesome. And you're obviously going during WrestleMania season, so that makes it even more better. Tomorrow, SmackDown, there's only 3 matches announced, but it's some bangers. So let's get into them. Tomorrow, 8-woman tag team match. Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky versus Nia Jax, Last Legend, and the Kabuki Warriors. I got the faces winning this. What about you?
I'm also going with the face team and Rhea Ripley and Io Sky and the Kabuki Warriors. They're going to build towards their match on Monday.
So this is I don't know where they're going with Jade. I'm intrigued of what they're trying to do. But Jade Cargill versus Mitch Jin. Who have you got there?
I got Jade Cargill, and you brought up a good point. Where are they going with Jade Cargill? I have a gut feeling she's going to continue to be in this monster of a person in 2026. And Jade Cargill say, nobody is going to stop me. There's going to be that one person that is going to stop Jade Cargill. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. Everybody's been saying we want to see Bianca versus Jade. I think we're getting Bianca versus Jade at WrestleMania for the Women's Championship. And I think Bianca Belair dethrones Jade Cargill.
Wow. That's a massive shout. Also, on that match announced for tomorrow, which I don't know if it's true or not. But it's an ambulance match where it's Damian Priest versus Aleister Black. I've really been liking this rivalry. It's been back and forth. We've added on Rhea Ripley and Selena. Where do you end up? Who will end up in ambulance tomorrow?
I got Damian Priest winning tomorrow.
Wow. Do you think that would damage Aleister?
Well, the thing is this, the last time we had a stipulation match, Aleister Black defeated Damian Priest in the last man standing. I
That's his
feel
win.
this time around, Damian Priest gets the upper hands and they could end this rivalry once and for all, and they can go off and do other things. Maybe Damian Priest can go after the undisputed WWE Championship.
That's a great. They both of them are like kind of like the pillars of. I mean, SmackDown hasn't been that good this past year, but those two have been really the most consistent ones where to watch. So both definitely deserve their best going into 2026. So after SmackDown, let's head into before we go on, we're gonna leave Monday Night Raw last. So let's go to NXT New Year's Evil. And let's go to the first match where I know the answer to this, but by God, I have to ask this. Thea Hill will defend her NXT Women's North American title against Blake Monroe. Who have you got in this match, and why is it Blake?
Because Blake Monroe is my girl, and I can't disappoint her whatsoever. So I got Blake Monroe gain her NXT Women's North American Championship back on Tuesday. And 2026 will be kicking off with a good one for me.
Let's keep it on the women's division. Tatum Patsy versus Izzy Dean.
I'm going to give this one to Tatum Paxley. I feel Tatum needs this win, and then maybe they could settle the score maybe at Vengeance Day when they go have their first NXT Premium Live event, and they can just settle the score once and for all.
That's a great pick. JC Jane will defend her NXT Women's title against Kendall Gray. Who have we got there?
I got JC Jane retaining the NXT Women's Championship. That with Kendall Gray, she's going to come up short, but I feel overall they're going to slowly but surely going to be building Kendall Gray up in 2026. If she don't capture the Women's Championship, I feel she could go on to capture the North American Championship first, and then I'm just going to make a wild selection. I could see Kendall Gray maybe ending the year with the NXT Women's Championship.
Wow. That's a massive prediction. I agree with you on that. But the only thing I don't agree with you is I think Kendall Gray will win. I think she will win this coming week. I feel they might take JC Jane up to the main roster, but they also want to put a massive rocket behind her because they're going to lose so many wrestlers now on NXT to SmackDown and Raw because of the 3 hours. So I feel JC Jane might be in one of them. The last match on here, by the way, this match card has 3 women matches and 1 male. Tells you how much this past year the women's division on NXT has dominated NXT and all on Tuesdays. Oma Femi defends his NXT men's world title against Leon Slater. I'm biased to this match because I'm a massive fan of Leon Slater since I watched him progress all those years ago. So, what's your take?
I'm torn about this match because it could go either way. Do they strap the rocket to Leon Slater, or do they keep the title on Oba? But if we're getting video package for Oba Femi on both Raw and SmackDown, that can tell me that Oba is ready for the main roster and Leon Slater is going to shock the world on Tuesday. And I hope none of the prediction league or forums came out yet, but if it didn't yet, I still have time to change my mindset. I'm just going to say it. I feel Leon Slater's winning on Tuesday. I feel history is finally going to be made that a TNA superstar winning an NXT championship. I know the Hardys, and don't get me wrong, the Hardys, they've been in WWE before. They could win championships left and right and make history. But Leon Slater, he will be the first to make history from TNA. And I'm just going to say, if Leon Slater becomes the NXT championship, I have a gut feeling he better drop the X Division championship, and Triple H and Shawn Michaels could talk to TNA, buy Leon Slater's contract out of TNA, and then Leon Slater will be WWE bound in 2026. So I'm just going to say Leon Slater becomes the new NXT championship, and then Oba Femi, he can go and conquer the main roster.
I really, really, really hope that happens. And it'll be crazy that a NXT World title will be around the waist of a TNA wrestler, especially X Division champion. Let's get into this upcoming Monday Night Raw, live at the Brooklyn Center, the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Before we get on to the matches, it's been a year now since the WWE Raw has been on Netflix. What's your take on this past year of Raw being on Netflix? Has it been good? Has it been bad?
I feel Raw on Netflix has been good overall. I enjoyed Raw on Netflix. They gave us good moments. The first Raw episode on Netflix was possibly one of the greatest of all time. Okay. We had The Rock. We had John Cena. And all the legends showed up to the first Raw on Netflix. And yeah, as 2025 came to an end yesterday, I just said this is going to be the first year without not seeing John Cena in a WWE ring. And it's going to be like, how are we going to enjoy it? Are we not going to enjoy it? But Cena always says, just enjoy professional wrestling.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Raw on Netflix this year was great. And hopefully this Monday on Raw, with being the 1-year anniversary, I hope we have some break the Raws down on Monday. If you know what I mean about breaking the Raws down, and we've been hearing the rumors, we've been hearing the speculation, I feel that's going to throw out the speculations, throw out the news, let him show up on the 1-year anniversary episode, and I'm making it a prediction. This coming Monday, we will see Y2J, Chris Jericho, makes his return to WWE.
If he does show up, who do you think he will interact with?
I'm going to say it. I feel he should interact with his future WrestleMania opponent. And his WrestleMania opponent, I'm booking it right now, WrestleMania, Chris Jericho versus LA Knight.
Yeah, That's a great match. Cool. You imagine them on a mic. God, that would be crazy. In the UK, the Netflix has been amazing. In the UK, we've had Raw, Smackdown, all the pay-per-views, apart from the Saturday nights, and NXT, all in one on Netflix. It's been really, really easy for us Brits to access it, and they got most of the library on there, but they're going to put most of it back on the YouTube. So I think it's been a really, really good um, good year on Netflix for WWE. Has a fan, but obviously in business, they probably did exceptionally well. So let's get into the matches on the 1 year anniversary of Netflix. The Kabuki Warriors versus Io Sky and Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Who have we got for this one?
I feel me and you are gonna both be agreeing on this. I'm going with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky to finally become the women's tag team championships. I feel they will have a good run with the championships. Now, do I feel eventually we might get a Rhea Ripley Io Sky match down the road? I do feel we could see them face off with each other somewhere in 2026, and Rhea Ripley can finally defeat Io Sky. But for right now, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky win the tag team titles on Monday.
The women's tag team division this past 2 or 3 months has been exceptional. It's been the best they've ever had, especially when you see the wrestlers like Oscar, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Last Legend, Bailey, Lyra Valkyria. It's just amazing selection of women wrestlers that are so good at singles, but they're really, really good now at tag teams. So the women's division in tag teams and in singles is phenomenal at the moment in WWE, especially on Monday Night Raw. Talking of women's division, Maxine Dupree puts her women's Intercontinental title on the line against big time Becky the Man Lynch. I'm scared what may happen, but unfortunately, I have to go for Becky because I'm thinking Becky wins and then it sets up the AJ Lee WrestleMania feud. But I really hope Maxine proves me wrong. Who have you got?
This is the thing. I'm also agreeing with you. I feel Becky Lynch is gaining the women's Intercontinental Championship back, but this is the thing here. Does Becky and AJ need to have need the title to be in play for their match?
That's a good shout. For me, no. But if you look at past WWE booking, they always add a title in these particular matches. So yeah, I agree with that. So you got Becky for this one.
This is where I see things are going. Becky wins. It's literally, we're going to get everything back on track, and we're going to get Becky Lynch, AJ Lee for the Women's Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. And just say AJ Lee. We know AJ Lee's possibly going to be a surprise entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble match. I feel AJ and Becky are going to maybe throw each other out of the ring, and that's going to continue their feud. If Maxine Dupree wins, then I'm going to take it a next step further. We're going to see Natty Neidhart come out, and I see Natty Neidhart turning on Maxine Dupree, and Natty Neidhart is going to be the one to dethrone Maxine Dupree for that Women's Intercontinental Championship. So one of those two options I said is most likely going to happen. So right now I got Becky Lynch, but come Monday, my mind could change. plans could change, whatever. So those are my two scenarios for Monday.
That's not a bad way of thinking it. Um, if Natty comes back and she wins the IC title in the next few months, she's as well deserved. Especially this new character Natty is just amazing. Especially what she's doing in AAA. The main event, worthy main event. CM Punk will defend his world title against Braun Breaker. These guys have had words of heat. I mean, that's craziness to some of the stuff, especially Braun Breaker's come out with, and he's hit a spear on Punk twice. Who have you got?
Who I got in CM Punk and Braun Breaker. I feel this is going to be a hard-hitting match on Monday. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going with CM Punk to retain. I feel CM Punk deserves to retain, and I just feel with the whole entire division, I feel the vision is going to help Braun, but I do feel the numbers game is going to come out in a big way because I can see it happening. Rey Mysterio is going to be out there. Penta is going to be out there. And then another name is being reported that could show up this Monday on Raw is LA Knight. So I feel there's going to be the numbers game trying to take down the Vision. And this match with Punk and Breaker is going to end in shenanigans. CM Punk is going to retain. Where does Braun Breaker go from a loss on Monday? I feel he could be a potential Royal Rumble winner, but I don't see Braun Breaker winning the Royal Rumble. I see Braun Breaker win the Elimination Chamber to face CM Punk once again for the World Heavyweight Championship. And if we're skating CM Punk Braun Breaker again for WrestleMania, then I do feel that WrestleMania is going to be the crowning moment that Braun Breaker will become the new World Heavyweight Championship. And then maybe from there, we could get the Braun Breaker Seth freaking Rollins storyline going at it for the summer of 2026. So I got CM Punk on Monday Night Raw Stranger Things crossover.
I really am looking forward to Monday Night Raw. It looks a really, really good show. It looks really, really the main event looks phenomenal. I cannot wait. And there's so much going on in WWE. There's so much going on in TNA and AEW, but there's so much going on in Wrestling Pedigree. So the Rotz Report will be available every week. We're always on Spotify and all podcasts availability. We're always on TikTok, Facebook. Me and Ross are always on X. So yeah, we're always there, always available. And we are going to put so much content into this Wrestling Pedigree this year. There's going to be some interesting stuff happening, especially with the Rotz Report. So please stay tuned, enjoy the shows. And it's just two guys enjoying pro wrestling that just love it enough that we talk about it each week and live through it. And yeah, it's just absolute fun. And with that, Chris, where can the delightful people find you?
Well, where everybody can find me at is on my Instagram, CMROTZ_1316. My Facebook is Christopher Rotz. My X account is CRotz24. I always have a blast coming here on the Rotz Report. The first episode of 2026 is going to be complete. And there's going to be a lot of content that's going to be happening on Wrestling Pedigree. I know my buddy Matty's going to tell us what's going to be all happening in the month of January with Wrestling Pedigree very soon. I had a blast tonight. Want to wish everybody another happy new year. Hopefully you guys have a safe and blessed and healthy 2026 year. Whatever your New Year's resolutions are for this year, go and achieve them. And hopefully when you guys achieve your goals, you'll come out of 2026 a better person than you were in 2025. Always had a blast, and looking forward to next week's Rotz Report episode. And always stay positive instead of being negative, and always enjoy professional wrestling.
I know I'm a sucker for a cheap plug, but who have we got to say yes to?
NoDQ.com.
There we go. I was waiting for the plug. What Rock said is absolutely true. So this week, obviously, you got the Rotz Report. Me and Steve are back with Wrestling Pedigree. We are talking about Royal Rumble 2003. And we're going to break down the whole pay-per-view. That will be available on Saturday the 3rd. And the Rotz Report will obviously be back next week, as we'll talk about everything that's happened on Monday Night Raw, the Smackdown, and we look forward to the 3 stages of hell on Smackdown Bash in Berlin on the 9th. Also, Sonny, the Matty Cocaine, the legend that it is, very much the legend. He will have his own show on the 10th of January. That will be debuting. That'll be Kane Uncut. And there will be I don't know why I'm doing this again, because I got so tired from last time. But there will be another live streaming for charity on the 17th of Jan. Champions of Minds 2 for suicide awareness. So that will be fun to do again. This time will be 8 hours and not 15 hours, and I don't have to try them like that with my Psycho. So with that, thank you, Ross, for joining me again. This has been episode 12 of the Rotz Report. So next week, when we look at Netflix, and weirdly enough, the Raw on Netflix is actually with Stranger Things, which is kind of worrying, because the next episode of Rotz Report will be Rotz Report 13. So I'm really, really worried about that. It's either going to go good luck or bad luck on that. So with that, thank you for joining us. Happy New Year. Wish you very much for 2026. Enjoy professional wrestling. And as I always say, don't be a dick.
Slam nights, crowd so loud, it don't feel right. Worlds collide when the lights go red. Pro wrestling lives inside our heads.
Hey, WR, revolution rates. See a lot hard to kill, but the glory stage. From the Fed to the Indies, everyone getting their fix. Still slamming, still jamming in 2026.
NJF talking slick, backing every word. Oh, spray flying like he's never heard. Bryan Danielson still proving the point. Swerve got the whole house disjoint. Whose house? Mercedes Money setting gold on fire. Tony Storm living black and white desire. AEW Dynamite, no sleep tonight. Every match feels like a fight.
5 stars, the crowd decides. No rewind, just survive.
WrestleMania dreams, SummerSlam nights, Royal Rumble hope in a single fight. Double or nothing, Forbidden Door. New blood kicking down the floor.
Hard to kill, rebellion loud. Bound for glory, raise that
From the
crowd.
Fed to the Indies, everyone getting their fix. Still slamming, still jamming in 2020 slow. Teenage grinding, never gonna quit. Moves hits hard, Joe Hendry legit.
Santana standing 10 toes down. Legacy built, town by town. No matter the logo, no matter the pay. You earn your name the hard way.
WrestleMania dreams under power and fire. All out crowds screaming higher. Forbidden door, worlds collide. Different styles, same damn pride. From WWE to AEW fights. Team A proven they still got bite. Bell rings loud, the culture survives. Pro wrestling lives in 2026. Same ring, new scars. Same rush, same drive. We don't just watch, we believe.